What up? It's your boy, Incredible Man. And yes, I'm back at it again. And this is Danmachi Season 2, Episode 9. And it was absolutely fantastic, man. You have got to give it its credit because it was wonderful. And even if you're not a huge fan of Season 2, because I talked to some people and they weren't really big on Season 2 as of right now, but you have got to give credit to this episode, man, because this episode was absolutely fantastic. It gave us the struggle that Belle was dealing with the whole time. We got a little bit more information about Belle, and I'm going to talk about that later in this video. And we got a full-fledged confrontation with Mikoto and Belle and some of the other people against the Ishtar family, and we saw Freya mobilize. So I'll talk about that as well. Let's get it, man. So it picked up right after last week's episode, and we see Belle and Mikoto in the alley, and Belle's kind of contemplating and struggling with his whole ideal of, is he really a hero type person because of what Aisha-san said last week. And in the beginning, when all of the whole alley stuff went down, I was like, I kind of want Belle to kind of go and step his game up, man. I was kind of upset that he was kind of dwelling on it for that long, because there's no need for you to dwell on it. You are a hero, and all of the stuff that you've done in the past solidifies you as a hero. So I mean, you don't have to dwell on it that much. But I understand and understand why he was going through and struggling so hard because of everything that happened with the Apollo family. He done something, and it led to something dramatic, and there was a chance that they could have lost their familia and been kicked out of Orano or wherever they're at. And so he was a little taken aback because he didn't really want to put that on Hestia-sama again because of Apollo's familia. So this was good. I loved seeing the struggle and the conflict within Belle. And then we see Hestia-sama and everyone else in Tazamakuchi-san, I think that's his name, when they were trying to get into the pleasure quarter, and they were blocked by some of Ishtar's guards. And the funny thing about that is because they were looking for Belle, and Belle was just sitting in the alleyway thinking about escaping, but also thinking about saving Haruhime's son. And that's pretty much what this whole episode was about, was Belle contemplating about saving Haruhime, Haruhime being led away to take so they can kill her for the ritual, and Belle and Mikoto trying to think about and maneuvering around to save Haruhime, and Hestia-sama and everyone else trying to find and locate Belle and Mikoto. So it was a nice adventure-esque type episode because we saw it was a lot going on, man. First off, we had Belle and Mikoto coming up with a plan to bombard Ishar's familia. Then we had Hestia looking for Belle. And we had the whole Ishtar family running around trying to do this and complete the ritual at the same time. But before I go any further, can we talk about Farini or Prine? Dude, this chick knows nobody wants her, man. I'm just going to be real. She knows that nobody really wants her at all. And I think that's just the running gag because, let's be real. Would you want her? I mean, not trying to start anything, but seriously, nobody wants her, man. So then we have Belle and Belle still kind of figuring everything out and finally agreeing to save, kind of with himself, that he's going to save Haruhime. And we kind of see that he kind of got like a miniature upgrade with his powers, man, because Firebolt seemed to pack a little bit more of a punch this time when he used it. So I love that. So then they finally make their way to Ishtar's headquarters, and he's bombarding everybody with Firebolt, man. Firebolto left and right, and it was fantastic. And I love seeing Belle when he's on his actual kick and he's actually doing something, because it's good, it's great. So then we have Mikoto sneaking around, and can we give it up for Mikoto this episode? Absolutely fantastic, doing her ninja skills and samurai art and stuff at its best, man. She was straight bomb. She dropped a little stuff and she came up on the chin. It was great. Mikoto shined this episode. If we don't give her any credit for anything else, this episode she was straight bomb. What else did we get? Oh, then we have Belle finally making his way through the headquarters, and then he comes in contact with all of her familia, and she tells all of them to stand down because Ishtar herself wants to take control or use Belle. And the funny thing is about this whole part right here that goes in, I know I'm kind of glossing over it, but she told him to stand down, and she had one of her flunky guys, kind of hold Belle down, and she got naked to what is it? Anyway, kind of like control him because she's super sexy and stuff, and it didn't work on Belle. And this is what I found very, very interesting, is because she had some kind of potion that allowed her to read his stats on his back, and it says that he's immune to divine powers like that. Okay, now this is where it's going to get into a theory territory, because as you know, we found this out in the first season. That now this is my theory, and we got glimpses and hints, but it was never really verified, that Belle is and his grandfather is actually Zeus. That's what I think. I think that his grandfather was actually Zeus, and he's Zeus's grandson, and he's part God. That's why divine powers doesn't work on him. It's a whole thing with that, man. So that goes somewhere else. I don't want to do all that because we'll be here all day. But then she noticed that it doesn't work, and Belle manages to escape. But that whole conflict and her whole reasoning behind all of this, even with the Killing Stone, is because she's so upset at Freya, mainly because everyone else says that Freya looks better than she does, and they're so much more infatuated with Freya when they should be infatuated with her. That's your own thing. That has nothing to do with anybody else. So this is why you trying to start a fight or a war? It's not really necessary, man. So then Belle escapes, and then I glossed over the part where Hestia and everyone else, they finally made their way into the pleasure quarter. But then after that, we see Mikoto make her way to Haruhime in the resurrection site, not the resurrection, the ritual site, and she was going ham, but then that one chick was way stronger than she was, and she was a level 3, and she was putting hands on Mikoto, man. She was like demolishing Mikoto. But Mikoto came through and said she was going to use some magic, and she wiped out pretty much all of the ones that was like surrounding her. And that was a great thing, because that gave my boy Belle time to swoop in and save Haruhime, man, the chick that they gave the other sword to with the Killing Stone in it to kill her. He knocked her out of the way, and he broke the stone, and that's how it ended, which made me upset because it just got so great, and the whole episode was fantastic. But it got to that moment, and it was like steady building, and then all of a sudden, boom, the end. Oh man, it was so bad, but the whole episode was fantastic, and I can't wait to next week's episode, man, because it is getting real, and I want to see a fight with the Ishtar familia so bad, and I'm hoping that Hestia and Ishtar kind of use their powers. I would love to see that. But what I really want to discuss in this episode was that we saw Freya finally make a move, and we saw Freya's familia pretty much surrounding Ishtar's headquarters. We've never seen Freya go to this kind of depths. We knew that she wanted Belle for some reason, and we saw her have that one guy in the first season train the Minotaur to attack Belle. So we know she's always working with stuff behind the scenes, but for her to actually mobilize her familia to get ready to take on Ishtar is absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping we kind of see like a team up with Hestia and Freya and Belle and their familia attacking Ishtar's familia. I'm hoping, man. I really hope so. And I would love to see Aisha come to our side, because she's not really a bad chick, and we know we're going to save Haruhime because she's on the poster with Belle. So let's say they're going to save her. So that's all that pretty much happened this episode, man. This is your boy Dick Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.